This year, I've made over 6 figures with remote closing, which has allowed me to buy the car of my dreams, travel all across the world, and never have to worry about money ever again. And get this was all while I was a full-time college student, double majoring. I'm sure you're wondering, how is it even possible to make 6 figures when you're spending hours at the library, going out on the weekends? But I'm here to tell you it's possible. So today I'm going to tell you how I went from being a shy teenager to becoming what I think is financially free at 21 years old. So getting into remote closing, making money online, that was never supposed to be part of my story. Like growing up, my parents are doctors, everybody in my family is a doctor, my sister's in med school right now, and that's kind of the route that I was expected to follow. But I was in school, I knew that I hated going to class for 5 hours a day, spending another 3 to 4 hours every single day studying. So when I get out into the real world, how am I gonna work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll never be able to go to the gym between those hours. I couldn't even walk outside when it's bright and sunny. I mean, how am I supposed to be able to do that and be happy? So that's when I realized that med school is just not an option for me. But my parents, on the other hand, they didn't really agree, but eventually they gave in. So my other options were become a lawyer or become an engineer. So law school is pretty much like med school, so I did choose the engineering path. So taking the engineering route was definitely the best compromise because at least I was going to school for 4 years instead of 8 years. But still, I would still have to work a 9 to 5 after school. So that got me thinking, what can I do right now to possibly change my future before I graduate? As I'm sure you guys noticed, during the pandemic, all these make money online kind of paths were coming up, whether it was dropshipping, e-commerce, UGC, or remote closing. For me, I wanted to do something like remote closing because that means I could stay from home, I'd never have to start my own business, and I really wouldn't have to show my face anywhere on social media. Because keep in mind, before remote closing, I was probably the shyest person you would ever come across. Like, this YouTube video would not be getting made. So there were probably about 3 months between the time I heard about remote closing and till when I actually started. So when I heard about it, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. All the other options were not an option for me, but I was just scared. I had a massive fear of failure, and I just don't like failing. I don't know, I kind of just hate being bad at things. I hate letting myself down. I hate letting people around me down. But I kept thinking to myself that if I want to change my future, this is something that I have to do. And college really is the perfect time for me to take that risk. Because worst case scenario, if I failed at remote closing, I'm still a college student, I'm still getting my degree, and then I'll work that 9 to 5 after school. But if I actually do well in this, I learn how to make money online, and I can make this a career and make a living out of this, then I just changed my life. So I decided to finally take action. Unfortunately, during that time, I really didn't have any money to buy a course. So what I did was just went on YouTube, went on the internet, just tried to find videos that would teach me how to sell, teach me how to reach out to people to become appointment setters and closers for them. But then again, I did find a lot of information, but you can't find a ton of free information online. So after I watched all the videos I could, took in as much as information I could, I just told myself, this is as much as I'm getting, I just have to go and run with it. So after learning how to sell, the next step is always outreach. And honestly, people overcomplicate this way too much. Outreach is really just a numbers game, and it's just texting influencers. So while I was walking to class, while I was walking on the treadmill at the gym, I would just be messaging influencers, probably for like an hour every day, sending them a little text and offering to work for them. And that's really how I got 4 offers my first month. So it's kind of like when you're applying to internships in college. You kind of just have to apply for 100 of them. Hopefully some will get back to you, and out of those some that actually do get back to you, some of them will hopefully say yes. It's the same thing with outreach. I really didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew if I sent enough messages, then I would get a positive response. And that's really just the mindset that you need to have. And I got super lucky. I got hired on my first appointment setting offer probably 4 days after doing outreach. And the people that I was working for, they definitely did not know I was 19. They definitely did not know I had no experience, but it's okay. I kind of just had to fake it till I made it a little bit. So that first month, I was on 4 different appointment setting offers and 1 closing offer, and I brought home almost $15,000 in commissions. Keep in mind, I was still at school at the time. I was still going out on the weekends with my friends. So time was never really an issue for me. I think the biggest issue for me was my parents. They did not approve at all. They thought it would distract me from school, distract me from applying to internships, and really just distract me from getting a real job. Little did they know, this is my plan to make this my real job. After doing both appointment setting and closing my first month, after that I moved on to just closing. And let me clarify, closing does not mean cold calling like Wolf of Wall Street, because I would never do that. That is so degrading, that is so embarrassing, and I'm a girl. Like, I'm just not doing that. It's basically just hopping on a phone call with somebody that is already interested in the program or product that you're selling, talking to them about the program and selling it to them. There's tons of different programs that you can close for, but for me personally, I loved selling dating programs and fitness programs. And maybe you're sitting there and you're like, Serena, you just told me that you were shy. How the hell were you on the phone with prospects? But let me tell you this, if you're on a phone call for 30 minutes and you're getting paid $500 to $1,500 for a phone call, do you think you can get over the shyness for 30 minutes? Because I definitely did. And also, they're phone calls. Nobody's looking at you, and even if you say something embarrassing, do you think they're gonna remember you? They don't even really know who you are. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't just gain the confidence to talk to random people overnight. I was super stressed before every single phone call. I would be freezing, but also sweating at the same time. I'd have to sit down at a desk 10 minutes before every single phone call with a piece of paper and a pencil next to me. But eventually, I was taking calls while doing my laundry, while getting ready for class in the morning. And that's gonna happen to you too. And I'd be lying if I said being a girl didn't help. And it's not because of the way you look, it's not because of your voice, it's because as girls, I feel like that we are truly more empathetic people. And sales is really a game of listening. It's not convincing people to buy. You have to listen to their problems and really understand them. But I will tell you this, after a few months of doing this, it just becomes really easy. After about a year of doing this, I became the top sales rep on all the closing teams that I was a part of. And that's kind of how I got the name Fifth Princess, which I'll talk about in another video. If I didn't get over my fear of failure, if I didn't gain that confidence, I wouldn't be hitting consistent 20K months right now, while working 4 to 5 hours a day. And I won't lie, it still took work, but taking calls in my pajamas in my bed or in any kind of outfit that I wanted while doing my laundry, that sounded a lot better than working at Starbucks. I'm still in college, I'm still with my friends every weekend, I'm still going to class almost every day, and I'm still making 6 figures. I didn't have to do monk mode, I didn't have to cut off all my friends, I didn't have to drop out of college. It's really not as impossible as so many people make it seem. So you don't have to turn into a loner, you don't have to turn into a workaholic. In fact, only 3 of my closest friends even know that I've been doing this. That's how normalized my life is. So nobody in my college knows. When I walk into my classes, nobody knows, unless, they've seen me on their TikTok page, but let's not talk about that. It's really just about putting your energy into the right places and being efficient with time. Honestly, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way to make it happen. And if you're still here watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you want this just as much as I did. So if you enjoyed my story or you found it inspiring, hit the subscribe button because I will be posting more videos just like this. And if you're somebody that wants to make money online, I actually personally mentor people on how to make 5 to 15K every single month working from their dorm or, from your home. So if that seems interesting to you, I'll leave the application link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.